Hey everybody, PC Outcast here, back with more Everlasting Summer, and we're going to try for Miku's route. Apparently she only has one, no good or bad, just one. So it starts off by us not following the voice when we arrive. I won't reply. I'll let her approach me, that's fine. We want to take the keys. Silent. Go to the music club, I guess. Go see Miku. Hello, Miku. Now I'm gonna go alone. I won't bet with Alyssa, whatever. Skip the tutorial, lose against Lena. Alright, now, I believe I need to go to the bus stop first. If the guide I'm following is accurate. No, I'll help Olga instead. Keep looking. I can't. Okay, and none of this actually allows me to help. Can't really do anything with Miku. I'm supposed to be able to help Miku at some point. Run away. Don't know where I'm going to get a chance to help Miku out. I remember that option. Oh, Slavia went back to the dance floor. I sat a little longer and then cautiously slipped away after making sure nobody noticed me. I totally didn't want to see anyone after such successful dancing. The most quiet place here is the bus station, which might never be visited by the 410 route again. But I let out a scream. There was a bus right in front of me. Just like the one on the first day. I was petrified. How? What? How? Why? At once I remembered all my theories about getting into this camp. I was struck by the realization that during these last few days I'd gotten so used to local life that I'd started to forget that the things happening here were not really normal. I just stood there and watched the damned Icarus. Then I slapped my hands to my cheeks to be sure that it was not an illusion. The bus was still there. If it's here, then it's time to go home. Sayonara, pioneers! I rushed to the door. Oh. I came to my senses on the ground. My nose hurt like hell. I stood up and tried to understand what was going on. It seemed like I bumped into something. The bus was more than real to the touch. I tried to reach my hand out through the door, but there was some kind of invisible wall. I was overwhelmed by a nearly animalistic fear. Fear of everything, the camp, its inhabitants, and this bus. How the hell did I even get here? What is this damned Icarus I can't enter? Why is this happening to me? Suddenly a strong, unbalancing wind blew. I turned around and saw a little piece of paper under the wheel of the bus. Something was written on it. You're here for a reason. You're here for a reason. You're here for a reason. The badly handwriting seemed familiar. I certainly have seen it somewhere. It dawned upon me. I took a small charcoal from the ground and scribbled the same sentence on the backside. The handwriting was identical. My head cleared. I've sent a message to myself from the future. That's it. Or not. From the past. Damn, I don't understand anything. In any case, that was my handwriting. It certainly was not hard to forge it, but I was sure that I'd written that message myself. After turning the piece of paper over in my hands, I decided to try entering the bus one more time. The invisible wall was still there. I circled all around the Icarus, tapped at the wheels, peeked inside through the window. Everything looked absolutely normal, but in reality it wasn't. Heavy stones just bounced off the glass without visible damage. No effect, not even a scratch. I sat down on the curb and sighed weakly. If you think about it, that piece of paper hinted at something, and it seems that this situation won't do me any harm. Semyon! Seems like the leader's looking for me. Interesting. What will she say about the bus now? Would she still insist that it won't be coming for a few days? I jumped up and ran towards the sound of Olga's voice. What do you say about that? I blurted out triumphantly and waved my hand towards the road. Say about what? She replied in surprise. Turned around, and the bus had disappeared. As suddenly as it had appeared, the cry of triumph died in my throat. It is time to sleep already. Let's go. But, what? The bus. There was a bus just a moment ago. The bus couldn't be here, she said calmly. I stared at Olga's face. She was either skillfully lying or really didn't see anything. Then is it me who might be seeing things? Can't be true. I really saw that damned 410. Quit lying, I said quietly. Semyon, I don't understand. Stop lying to me. There was a bus. It's you. You're keeping me here. Why? I gritted my teeth, but tried to speak with a calm voice. You're scaring me. Time to go to bed. I won't get anything from her as usual. Seriously, though, I really wanted to sleep. I walked swiftly past the leader, deliberately not paying attention to her. I couldn't fall asleep for quite some time, and only the crumpled piece of paper with the words, "You were here for a reason," reminded me that the events of these 3 days were real. Well, that was new. Ooh, and I can't skip day 4. Interesting. A hellish cracking in my head woke me up. My skull felt like somebody was blowing on it from the inside. I rubbed my eyes, saw the ringing alarm clock on the bedside table, knocked it off, and dozed off again. Ugh. When I woke up, it was already 9:15. Looks like it's time to wake up. I can't miss my breakfast. I got up, scratched myself, and suddenly remembered last evening. There was a piece of paper under the pillow. You are here for a reason. I still don't get it. What does it mean? How did I manage to send a message to myself? Why don't I remember that? More questions than answers. No answers at all, to be precise. I left the cabin and looked over the camp. No, doesn't look like an illusion. But this memo, it made everything much more complicated. What can I trust? My stomach growled treacherously. Even Agent Mulder didn't conduct investigations hungry. There was unexpected crowd near the canteen. Of course, there was no place in the camp pioneers loved as much as the canteen, but why were they all crowding on the porch? I came closer to understand what was going on. It looked like all the camp was gathered at the porch. There were all the familiar girls, Olga and Elektronik. They were having a lively discussion. I drew closer. Ah, Semyon. Okay, so we've already been through that. Alright, so day 4, we want to go to the bus stop. Hey, Miku! And we're going to help Miku out. There we go, that's more like it. We might actually get Miku's ending now. Last time I tried to record this, I did not manage to get Miku's ending at all. Skip that. And don't eat the apple. Miku. I'm gonna go alone. I went further and further. Seems there's no end to these tunnels, like I'm trapped in the Minotaur's labyrinth and the terrible creature will appear soon. I was exhausted and slowly slid down to the ground, leaning against the mine's damp walls. Where's that damn shirk? And how many hours have I been walking around here? My eyes began to close, just for a minute. Oh. I actually fell asleep. I didn't find Shrek. I fell asleep in the mine. Weird. Because sometimes a dream is just a dream. One doesn't have to look up on the internet searching for an interpretation of a dream that invaded your dream world in such a rude manner. One doesn't have to assume that it's a sign, a prophecy, a prediction of the future. Sometimes a dream is just a dream. A beautiful story that's not going to happen in your real life. A fairy tale sketched by your resting brain and painted by your imagination. Sometimes a dream is just a dream, even if it comes in several parts. Interesting. Masha. Who the hell's Masha? Damn, I'm so tired of all this. Me, huh? I raised my eyes and saw a girl hanging over me. What exactly are you tired of? Everything. It's not like someone made you do this, or is still making you. Well, it's not that simple. Oh, it is indeed quite that simple. Damn, you're always... Stop chatting, come on, get to work. A voice that would brook no objections came from far away. The bus became empty in an instant. The girl I was arguing with sulked like a child, turned abruptly, clicked her heels and headed to the exit. Her name was Masha. Okay, you ready? Woman appeared. Her face simultaneously expressed agony for the fates of the whole of humanity, arrogance, concentration, and fatigue. Yeah, sure. Excellent. Then, action. I didn't even realize when she left the bus and a camera appeared pointing at me. I've shut my eyes. That's right, I must be sleeping according to the script. How long must I sit like that? 10 seconds? 20? That should be enough. I slowly opened my eyes and started to sweep the bus with an ignorant look. That's it. I haven't got the slightest idea why I'm here. What is this? An Icarus? But why? So I have to put on the most surprised face that I've ever done. I should imagine that I'm sitting in a toilet, reading a book, and then the door suddenly swings open and I see Jean Reno with a gun. Pardon me, do you mind that I'm, pardon my French, doing number 2 here? He would surely be surprised. I just couldn't bear it and laughed out loud. Stop! Stop! Yelled the director. It's an outrage. We've already been shooting for a week, but we've still got nothing. Less than nothing. She jumped close to me. What's the matter this time? You know, well, she would hardly appreciate my story about Jean Reno. I'm sorry. It was hard to look her in the eyes. It wasn't like I was really worried about me messing up yet another take, but mainly because I was afraid to break into laughter again. Okay, lunch break. Our director took off her Panama hat and began to fan herself with it. It's so hot. Well, it's summer after all. Sure, it came out of thin air, proving himself to be quite observant. Duh, blockhead. You better take care of the camera. Shirk calmly dodged the Panama that was thrown at him and went back to his camera. It's always like that. Calm, wise, and boring, dull, and quite predictable. I got out of the bus and headed to the canteen to grab a bite. And ran into Masha at the doors. So? Nothing. No surprise. Want to have something to eat? She stared at me for some time with an uncomprehending look. Okay, let's go. It's strange. Seems that Masha has already visited the canteen. What is it? Didn't she have time to have her lunch? I examined her thoroughly from behind. Her double ponytails were really long and dangled from side to side, now and then hitting whatever they encountered on the way. Are you sure that you're comfortable with your hair like that? I asked Masha when we sat down at the table. What's the problem? Well, they're kind of way too long, no? It's part of my character, dork. As if they were any shorter before that. She threw an angry glance at me and proceeded to violently stir the contents of her packet of instant noodles. One day I'm gonna get gastritis thanks to this diet. I already got it. Oh sure, I bet you've already drunk all the stage props together with these guys. What's wrong with that? I'm not paid for this work, just so you know, and it's hard. The leading role, after all, I don't drink the cameras and filming tape. Oh, it's like you're going for an Oscar. Who knows? Who knows? I reclined on the chair and lit up a cigarette. Just for your information, it's a child's camp here, in case you've forgotten. Yeah, you see any kids around? Masha just sniffed and didn't reply. And by the way, all the great ones had to start with something. Some of them, for instance, started with a graduation project. Not a single sane human would ever think of shooting such wild garbage. She gazed wearily around with an intimidated look, making sure that nobody except us was at the canteen, and continued. Only our Olga would. It's not like someone made you do it. Oh yeah? Masha said slowly with bitterness in her voice. Like I had any choice, or you did, or anyone else. Well, for starters, you could have proposed another subject. To propose a subject? What subject? All this time, Masha had been sprinkling salt over her noodle cup, and it seems she was not going to stop. I see you like it spicy. What? I directed my gaze at her cup. Damn. Slammed the salt shaker down the table and sadly dropped her eyes to the small hill of salt that, like an iceberg fitting global warming, just refused to dissolve in the broth. Oh, come on. I suddenly felt sorry for Masha. Anyway, I could hardly digest this crap. Sandwiches are way better. Here. I pushed my bowl in her direction. She took it silently and began to eat. Won't you even thank me? That's completely your fault. What exactly? You distracted me and Anyway, it's your fault. Whatever. Masha kept eating in silence. I finished smoking and stubbed the cigarette out on the corner of the table. What exactly don't you like about it? Well, it's actually fine if you get used to it. Lovely noodles. I looked at Masha in a way that made clear exactly how silly and irrelevant her answer was. Oh, you're talking about the movie. About the movie. Take my character, for example. Although never mind using it as an example, it's the worst part of the script. Were you even reading this as you wrote it? For the first 2 days, then laziness took over. Well, I read it. So what? Does it seem normal to you? What exactly? Character. My character. What's the problem with it? I decided to play the fool till the end. Stop mocking me! If looks could kill, my death would have been a pretty painful one. Alright. Calm down. Masha fixed her gaze on me. What's the matter with your character? Just a normal, retarded girl. There are so many around anyway now. She turned red at first, then blue, then she turned green. Not sure that the changing of colors in her face during a fraction of a second was really like that, but either way, Masha looked scary. You know, that's disgusting, she said suddenly, getting a grip. I think it's perfectly normal. The cast of a movie, or a book for that matter, can't consist only of cute, smart, and sexy characters. We still need supporting roles. Supporting, but not retarded. It's not like we don't encounter them in real life. But I'm not like that. But you're not playing yourself, after all. Her stubbornness started to get on my nerves. People will watch it and say, Masha's a retard. I covered my face with my hands and put my head down on the table. Okay, what do you suggest now? I don't know. Everything's just bad. Will it get better if you just keep crying and moaning? I'm not moaning. Oh, like I can't hear it. Well, I'd prefer if I couldn't. You know what? I opened one eye and looked up at the enraged Masha. What? You're just an insensitive bastard. As you say, mademoiselle. And... She didn't manage to finish the phrase. The door burst open and a cheerful shout reached us. Sasha. Masha Nyan, Semen Kun. Semyon-kun? Oh, here comes another raving lunatic. Oh lord, what have I done wrong? I turned my head and glanced skeptically at the girl who ran into the canteen. Sasha. One of the main characters. If we compare Sasha in real life with the character she's going to play, then Masha's words about the injustice of this world don't seem that meaningless. However, on the bright side, one can't ignore Sasha's acting talent. She really becomes a totally different person on the screen. I told you like 1,000 times, don't you ever call me Masha Nyan. Masha gritted her teeth. Okay, then it would be Masha Yan. Can I? Sasha snatched the chair, moved it closer, and sat beside me. Freaking cuckoo. How do people like that enter college in the first place? Nah, what are you talking about? Sasha seemed to ignore Masha's opinion of her professional impropriety. Oh, we were just discussing what exactly Masha Nyan doesn't like about her script. Just you wait till I beat the Nyan out of you. She tried to land a punch on my forehead, but I dodged, and her fist slammed down on the table. Sasha gave a brief cry and started shivering. See how discontented she is? A curious young mind which doesn't seek any compromises, ready for long, painstaking work, for self-sacrifice and denial of the fragile material world, and all for what? For the truth. Wow, you're so smart. Sasha murmured and hugged my arm. Too bad you're not. No, you're hopeless. I'll take that as a compliment. Masha fetched her phone out of her pocket and checked the time. Okay, time to get going. Where are you going? You only appear starting day 2. It's you who should get going, dork. Me too. Sasha jumped around, still clinging to my arm. I guess so. I got up, pushed the chair back under the table, and looked over at Masha. See ya. Oh, get going. She snorted and turned away. Itakemasu. Get lost, you. Just as that reached my ear, Sasha shot past me with empty noodle packets trailing in her wake. Eh? I was sitting in the bus, flipping through the script lazily. So which idiot wrote this? Oh yeah, that would be me. I put aside the stack of sloppily stapled printed pages and fixed my sight outside the window. Indeed, it was really hot. Even without Shirik being Captain Obvious, it was hot. Let's take the asphalt, for example. It doesn't give a damn that just yesterday it was winter according to the script. You know it has to be melting right here and now. And the grasshoppers don't care, they just keep rehearsing. By the way, which of them do the chirping? Is it the crickets or the grasshoppers? Or cicadas? Nah, those screech. Damn, I don't even have any internet handy for a quick check. Though why would I? The script is all agreed on and approved and can't be edited at all. And anyway, who would care about the grasshoppers in our movie? Although it would be a splendid idea for shooting a horror flick in the spirit of 50s US B-movies. Like, for example, My Cousin is a Grasshopper, or The Cricket Day, One Flew Over the Cicada's Nest. If I have to spend 5 more minutes here, I'm going to turn into an insect myself. Oh, why were there no air conditioners in old Soviet buses? Hey, hello, anyone home? A loudspeaker was pointed at me, and right behind it I recognized the face of Olga through the melting air. Please leave your message after the... I felt a blow. Hey, you can't just smack the protagonist like that. Have you even read my tour rider? Shut up. This has to be the last take on the bus. I wanted this pretty bad myself. After all, it's better to be outside than stuck in this moving man melter. Shirk's camera was hanging over me. I acted as if I was really desperate about what's going on, raged across the bus, dashed outside, ran all around it, and finally collapsed down on the sidewalk. Cut! Olga smiled approvingly. Well, seems like you're able to do it when you really want to. Sure, it seems that that will is the most important thing. And now, meeting Slavia. A break, maybe? Rooter prayed. Router? We ain't here for a vacation. Off to your camera. He hung his head and shuffled off to his place. Action! I stared at the camp gates. I held my gaze on the statues of the pioneers and took a few steps forward. Sasha emerged from behind the gates. Hi, Semyon-kun. My name is Slavia. Yoroshikuni? I don't really know Japanese, so... A stunned silence descended upon the set. It seemed like even the grasshoppers suddenly stopped their song and looked up at Sasha with fascination. I have just one question for you. The dreadfully calm voice of Olga reached us from behind me. Have you even read the script? Sure I did, but it's so boring. It was pointless to cry, swear, go into hysterics. We couldn't find another actress here. We have only 3 weeks in this camp, and you... She sat down on her director's chair and began to fan herself with her Panama hat. Guys, don't you get it? That we won't make it in time if we keep strolling around like this? We still have lots of stuff to shoot. Could you get at least a little more serious? It's like I'm the only one who cares. A stick certainly won't work with Sasha, so maybe we should try a carrot instead. I'm sorry, I'll try again. You'd better. I tried hard to imagine the protagonist surveying the unknown environment as millions of theories fly through his head. He's shocked. He doesn't know what to think at all. His brain's ready to explode. His consciousness starts to wander, and there you go, a girl. Your average pioneer appears, and she has not the slightest idea of what's happening to him. She just greets the protagonist and sends him to the camp leader. I took a few steps forward, and Sasha appeared from behind the gates. You must be new here. I caught sight of the lens of the camera pointed at me from out of the corner of my eye and tried hard to make a really surprised face. If so, you need to go to our camp leader. So you can do it if you really want to. Olga wiped the sweat from her forehead. I'm gonna turn gray before my time with all these fripperies of yours? No idea what that word means. And we still have to do the editing. Ha! She checked her watch. Okay, let's call it a day. I'd hardly call myself a workaholic, but even I felt that it's way too early to stop, even if we're already falling badly behind schedule. Don't you think that... I do, but I feel absolutely done. As you wish. I shrugged and headed into the camp. Evening was closing in. Tonight was dining with Masha, Sasha, and Alyssa. There was a huge bowl full of fried potato slices with mushrooms right in front of me. One of the perks of summer, fresh vegetables from the garden. You better show that much effort during filming. Oh, you seem to prefer instant noodles over this? What are you talking about? Sasha's a great chef, mumbled Alyssa. Didn't anyone ever tell you that it's impolite to talk with your mouth full? And you're always complaining. I'm... Sasha was about to burst into tears. Oh, Lord. Come on, chill out. Everything's delicious. Nya, Masha, nya, do you want me to make something? Masha gave her such a dirty look that it became obvious, even to Sasha, that she shouldn't continue. But anyway, just tell me honestly. I won't. But you don't even know what I'm asking you. I know. So what's it gonna be? She stared at me with a triumphant look. Why did I come up with such a rubbish script? Damn. Alyssa and Sasha laughed. Oh, I see that you're both okay with it. What's the matter? It's summer. We're surrounded by nature. There's a beach here. Everything looks great. Might as well visit Turkey. Why did you come here? Alyssa glanced at Masha blankly and started to dig into her plate. So... She pointed her fork at me. Fear not the fork, but the spoon. One blow and your skull is doomed. Now you tell me, is he even normal? Semyon-kun is kawaii. Sasha hugged my arm and nodded vigorously. That's the matter anyways. Got us a free vacation. I don't understand what I'm even doing here. Well, it's not like anyone's holding you here, I said coldly. Oh, if only I wanted... If only what I wanted mattered. And you, what are you doing all this time? You just keep nagging others, and yet there's still a lot of time before your appearance, according to the script. You must be preparing for the role, eh? I interrupted her. Oh, maybe I'm preparing. Double standards. Triple, damn it. So what are you doing for real? Well, what would you expect me to do? Me? Nothing. Just curious. Reading books, she answered timidly. And every book about how to master acting. Stop it, okay? We're sitting here, God knows where, no internet, no phone signal, nothing at all. If I hadn't brought the mosquito repellent with me. I brought it, yeah. Masha gave her such a look that Sasha suddenly started to take up much less space than usual. I just don't get you. What's the point of complaining all the time? You could have stayed back home. Did I even ask you? Masha got up abruptly and headed for the exit. Masha Nyan is upset, said Sasha in a distressed tone. If she got upset just now, then wait until you see what she's gonna be like towards the end of the shooting. The Pioneer Chainsaw Massacre with Druzhba, eh? Druzhba is both friendship in Russian and, fortunately, a well-known brand of chainsaws. Oh! Curiously enough, I really couldn't comprehend why Masha keeps freaking out. Sure, since the very beginning she had no real enthusiasm for either the script or the whole idea of shooting our movie in a godforsaken pioneer camp. But still, she wasn't that aggressive. Maybe it's the heat that's to blame? Or the grasshoppers? Sure, that's it. Grasshoppers. They're giving us hell instead of a good sleep. I wish we just had a button to release some sort of poisonous gas and presto. What are you thinking about? About the grasshoppers. What's wrong with them? Well, we might as well ask what's right with them. Grasshoppers, they're so... Nah. Why? Well, they're so scary. You just don't like insects in general? Nope. Me neither. A heavy silence fell, and that is when I decided to cut this episode and continue in the next one. Thanks very much for joining me. See you then.